Have you ever wondered what really happens after we die? Not what religion tells us, not what science debates, but what ancient books, hidden for centuries, whisper about the unknown. Today, we're diving into mysterious texts that claim to reveal the shocking truth about life after death. In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful ancient books, some buried with pharaohs, others meditated on by monks, that each claim to answer humanity's most feared question: what happens when we die? We'll uncover what these books say about the soul, the afterlife, reincarnation, and the science behind it all. Get ready, because by the end of this video, you might never look at life or death the same way again. What if I told you that a book written 3,000 years ago describes your exact journey after death, through tunnels of light, encounters with spirits, and a final judgment? Or that ancient texts from Tibet and India explain the phases your consciousness experiences after your heart stops? Why do ancient cultures across continents describe the same afterlife experiences? Coincidence? Or a universal truth we've forgotten? 1. The Egyptian Book of the Dead. Let's start in ancient Egypt, around 1500 BCE. The Book of the Dead isn't a single book. It's a collection of spells, instructions, and maps for the soul's journey in the afterlife. This sacred text was placed in tombs to guide the deceased through the Duat, the Egyptian underworld. Spells like the negative confession were used by souls to declare their innocence before 42 divine judges. If found worthy, they passed into a paradise called the Field of Reeds, a place not unlike Earth, but eternal, peaceful, and perfect. What's shocking is how closely this mirrors modern near-death experiences: tunnels of light, life reviews, feelings of peace. Scientists have started to study these stories, comparing them to what's written in ancient texts. Are they describing the same phenomena thousands of years apart? 2. The Tibetan Book of the Dead. Next, we travel to the snowy peaks of Tibet. The Bardo Thodol, or the Tibetan Book of the Dead, is not just about death. It's a spiritual guide for navigating the mind during the dying process. According to this book, after death, the soul enters the Bardo, a transitional state between death and rebirth. Here, the consciousness faces hallucinations, gods, demons, and even illusions created by its own karma. It's said that recognizing these illusions can help the soul break free from reincarnation altogether. The text reads like a psychological manual, thousands of years before psychology even existed. Tibetan monks chant its passages beside the dying, believing that the soul hears and benefits from the words, even after the body is gone. 3. The Bhagavad Gita. In India, the ancient scripture known as the Bhagavad Gita, part of the epic Mahabharata, talks in depth about death and the soul's immortality. Written over 2,000 years ago, this sacred text says, "The soul is neither born nor does it die. It simply changes bodies, like a man changing clothes." Here, death is not an end. It's a transformation. The Gita introduces the idea of karma, where one's actions in life determine their next incarnation. Good deeds lead to higher realms, while bad deeds pull the soul into lower worlds. What's surprising? Quantum scientists today explore the idea of consciousness being non-local, existing outside the brain. This matches the Gita's claims in eerie ways. The Popol Vuh. The Mayans, too, had their death guides. The Popol Vuh, the sacred book of the Quiche Maya, describes the journey of two twins into the underworld, Xibalba. They pass trials, outwit gods of death, and rise again into the sky as the sun and moon. The Popol Vuh treats death not as punishment, but as a test, a cycle. Each life is part of a larger cosmic balance. And here's something unexpected. Astronomical alignments in Mayan temples suggest they may have believed souls return through cosmic portals at certain times of year. 5. The Zohar. In Jewish mysticism, the Zohar describes the afterlife as a layered realm where the soul ascends or descends based on spiritual refinement. Each level is filled with beings, tests, and divine revelations. But here's the twist. The Zohar speaks of reincarnation too, a belief not commonly associated with mainstream Judaism. And it says the soul retains memory of all its lifetimes, though we forget it upon birth. Sound like déjà vu? Some researchers now believe that genetic memory, or even quantum consciousness, could explain why people remember past lives. The Zohar hinted at this centuries ago. You expected old stories, but what if these ancient books were actually early blueprints of consciousness itself? What if their myths weren't fiction, but metaphorical science we're only now starting to understand? Across cultures, these texts agree on certain points. Consciousness continues, the soul travels, choices matter. And now, neuroscientists, physicists, and even astronauts are asking the same questions. Does consciousness survive the body? What if the ancients already had the answers? In Norway, you live surrounded by the quiet beauty of nature, a reminder of cycles, of time, of rebirth. Perhaps that's why these questions resonate deeply. Still wondering how ancient people knew so much? Then you need to watch my video on the hidden books that explain the origin of the universe. In it, we explore secret texts that describe the Big Bang, long before modern science did. Tap the video on your screen now, and if you believe there's more to life than we've been told, hit like, subscribe, and join me as we uncover the ancient truth together.